But we sat around in the office and said, right, we're in about 110 salons right now that Jared's opened, I've educated for, and Nikki shipped to, and we said, what are we going to do from here? So an old friend of mine, John Maly, who owned a distributorship called Maly's. He was probably the largest independent distributor in America. I said to Jared and Nikki, I'm like, let's give him a call. Let's see if he's got some advice for us, see what we can do. So I called him up on a Friday. It was probably around about 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. I got his secretary. His secretary was like, well, John's very busy. We'll see if he can get back to you. And I'm like, well, you know, my name's Dale. He does know me. And she's like, yeah, I'm sure he does, but you know, we'll get back to you. So I put the phone down. I said, well, let's see what happens. You know, so we got on with the day, doing our things. Literally 30 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was John Maly's secretary. And she said, John would like to meet you on Monday. So we were like, wow, okay, great. And this was all the way up in Ventura, and we're in San Diego, probably about a 4-hour drive, maybe, in traffic in a Monday morning. So Jared and I booked a cheap hotel in Valencia to get up there to make sure we did not miss that meeting. Nikki was back in the office wondering what the meeting was going on like, I'm sure. We went into the office, sat down, and I said, John, you've got amazing experience. We'd love to pick your brain. We'd like some advice on what we can do with Unite. And he said, why aren't you trying to sell us the brand? And I said, well, you're massive. You have 300 sales consultants. You're the largest, you know, single distributor in America. I don't think you'd be looking at us, would you? And he said, well, my sales managers tell me that you're in salons that we can't get into. And I'm like, really? He said, yeah, you're in the Christophs, the Ken Pavises, you're in the most amazing salons and we can't get in them, but you're in them with your brand. So long story short, 6 months later, we're working with all of his 300 sales consultants and doing crazy numbers. And from then, we just built and built and built from then. We've never changed the focus on where we've been when it comes to Jared training the sales consultants to make sure that they are consultants. And we went through that very vividly, didn't we, Jared? Making sure.
100%. We did some unique things. I think we were kind of out of the box on a lot of it. And honestly, I wouldn't change any of it. I mean, it really was the foundation of what helped us grow and get where we were. The Maly's meeting, as you said, I mean, John hadn't launched another brand, you know, from its start. I think 7 years previous was the closest time. And so that was game changing for us when that happened. You know, all of these distributors that we were trying to reach out to and hopefully secure business with, it went from us calling them, us chasing them down, to them calling us saying, this brand must be hot because John's not taking on brands, you know, he's just not doing it. So training those salespeople, making them truly consultants, and just making sure they followed through on what they committed to doing and supporting the hairdresser. Just kind of taking all the BS out and all the fluff and just get back to just taking care of the professional. And that was, I think, a foundation from day one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, Nikki had, obviously, because we were new in the industry, we didn't know much about it. We had nobody consulting us on what to do. So Nikki was in charge of, and this sounds crazy, but like, what size boxes do we get for the products? What do the shippers look like? How do we ship? What kind of packing material, right? So you went through that.
Absolutely. It was a learning experience, to say the least. You know, we did make our mistakes, but we slowly but surely got to know what was needed, and our operation was honed throughout the years, slowly but surely, and we made it to what it needed to be.
I know one thing that was critical for us too is we knew if we just helped the hairdresser be successful, we would be successful. And there was no clear idea of how that was going to happen. But if we helped them, we knew that we were going to win along the way as well.